Hello, Kylie Bertucci, #1 demonstrator in Australia with you, and hopefully this time we have comments. Facebook has been very glitchy today. I'm not happy with it. Not happy, Jan. Although at least it's live, like at least I can get on now. Before I couldn't even get on. Yes, I can see comments. Thank you, Sarah. Louise Sharp's looking for me now. She's like, where are you? Someone tag Louise Sharp and say, Kylie's here. Where have you been? We've been like talking for ages. Hello again. Yeah, it's really playing up this week. I don't know what is going on, but this morning I was delayed even from starting because I was half an hour late. Hello again, everyone. Thanks for jumping back in. Oh, Louise Sharp is here. Well done. Hello. Hi, Tina. How cool did my card turn out today? I was very impressed with that, in case you missed it. Sorry, it's back to front. I haven't flipped it around today, the video. Not happy, Jan. Oh, good, yeah. Keep tagging Louise. Everyone tag Louise, even though she's here. She's like, I'm here. So our chat today. Hi, Trace. How you going? Yes, you found me. Good job. Well done. Hi, Ellie. Good to see you again. Glad you found me. So I'm looking at 15 bad habits that makes salespersons seem pushy or salesy and how to correct them. So this is something that's a really interesting thing because I think that a lot of us tend to be the opposite way with Stampin' Up. We tend to, yes, Facebook was down for an hour. Yes, that happened to me. Oh, thanks, Laurie. You're the sweetest. Hi, Marguerite. It's nice and early in the morning for you. Idiots. Is Facebook idiots or me? Louise, you're the sweetest. Burn that card, as she would say. No, you couldn't find me because I had to actually drop out and come back in because the comments weren't here. And it was too frustrating. And I'm using my iPad for my talk today. So I was like, I can't go on my iPad looking at comments. It's too annoying. So I started again. I turned it off and on. So this one is really interesting. And I think a lot of these, as I said, are going to be the opposite for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. I think that we're not pushy enough. In other words, we don't sell at all. So I'm going to sort of do a bit of a twist on the whole pushy salesperson type thing. So the first thing that can come across as pushy is you call or email without any new updates to share. So you think, oh, I'm keeping on top of the person and I'm doing the right thing. And why it's pushy, it says you keep calling, you keep yourself top of mind. So you're thinking of yourself first, you want the sale. And you're that annoying salesperson who won't stop calling. Don't reach out unless you have something new to share. Otherwise, you're taking up your prospect's time without providing any value. Now, this is an interesting to just flip it to the other side because a lot of you are not pushy. You're anything from pushy. In fact, some of you are not being salespeople. And what is really interesting about being a salesperson is you can ring someone and just say, hey, just thought I'd touch base because there's a special at the moment and I'm not sure if you're interested, but I just thought I'd ring and let you know rather than sending an email like usual. And you can keep it very low key, very non-salesy, and you are ringing for a purpose. You're ringing to benefit them. And as long as you don't make them feel uncomfortable, and we'll look at a few other tips as we go along, you can basically create trust with that person and you're thinking more about them than you are about yourself. And that's in any situation. Same with recruiting. Stop thinking about you and think about them. Do you love being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator? Do you love the Stampin' Up! Products? Do you love the fact that you know about them? Remember those things and then share. It's not about you at all. It's not about you getting a sale. It's not about you getting a recruit. You're just sharing something amazing with them. And ultimately, it's up to them what they do with it. And they will see the difference. You know the difference between someone who genuinely wants the best for you and someone who just wants a sale. You can see it all over them. If you know that the person who you're in the shop and it's the business owner, that would be very different. But that's how you get customers, Jenna. If you don't talk about it, if you don't speak about Stampin' Up, if you don't mention it to people that you meet, if you don't share what you're doing and what you love with other people, you will never find a customer. And you will never have anyone to talk to. That is how majority of people find customers, is just by talking about what they love to other people. By sharing it online, by sharing it with people, and then continuing to help them. And to always remember, you might have your own goals from a sales point of view or your own goals from a recruit point of view, but it's not about you at all. It's about how can I help this person? How is this going to benefit them, or am I just being pushy? Am I guilting them into a sale, or do they genuinely want these things, and are they going to use them? And that's where my love it, chop it came from, because I knew a lot of my customers were purchasing paper and not using it, and that broke my heart. And now it's turned into like this big revolution, hashtag love it, chop it, where it's helped people all around the world to unlock those things and realize that they can use those products rather than just, and so that's helping them. It's not something that I thought was going to benefit me, but now they're buying more paper. So it has benefited me because they're using their paper. So how can you help them? Yeah, just keep doing it, Jenna. Do not give in. You're going to get a lot more knockbacks than you are people who are actually going to take it. And just look at different ways that you can meet the right people. So, you know, craft shows, go to the markets or supermarket, or just keep trying new things. I even did door-to-door. I did mail drops. I did classes at home. Yeah, I just didn't give in. You just can't give in. You just got to keep doing it. So the other one is you ask the same question multiple times. So questions are you have to be very careful with questions because you don't want people to feel uncomfortable or embarrassed. So sometimes you can find out the answer to things basically by just thinking about what type of question you use. So something that I would always do at the craft shows, and I loved it when I did craft shows, because they'd come up to the table, they know that you're there to sell the products. They're already on a bit of alert. They want to look, but they're like, oh, I don't want this person to pounce on me. And so the first thing I would ask them is, so are you more of a scrapbooker, a card maker, embroidery, knitting? What's your craft of preference? What do you love? And straight away, they would just be like, they would light up because they would think of their favorite craft. You're not necessarily pushing them into your products or telling them, you know, what to buy, but it would open up a conversation where they could talk about what they love. And majority of these crafts I have tried. I've tried knitting, I've tried embroidery, I still do them. I love them. I love craft. I'm a craft person. So it would open up a really great conversation that was about them. And then basically I could just say, well, we're a card making and scrapbooking company. And what makes us different is that everything coordinates. So the paper matches the ink. Like I talked about the things that make us different and the things that stand out. And that really helped them to see, you know, what was different about us. And I said, you're more than welcome. If you don't have time now, that's fine. So give them an out. Give them a way to get out. Don't force them. Don't make them feel guilty. So if you have time or you can come back later, we're doing make and takes now if you wanted to have a play and just have a look at the products. And 9 times out of 10, they would say, sure, yeah, I know I can do it. Are you doing it now? Yeah, we can do one now for you if you would like it. Like as if we're doing them a favor when it's like all we want is for people to sit down and do it. So thinking about how to make them feel comfortable, think about how you would like to be approached, and help them to find a solution to their craft needs. You're not being pushy if you're helping them. If they are genuine, they're at a craft show, They are there to spend money, and they want to know what to spend their money on that's going to be worthwhile. And you need to help them to find that solution without thinking about yourself, but thinking about them. So that was the other point to it. It said you start talking about your product straight away. So you don't need to talk about you. Find out about them. What do they love? What's their passion? How did they get into it? Oh, so did your mum do it? You know, there's so many questions when I think about why I started crafting. Why did I start crafting? Oh, when did I start crafting? And it just makes you quite nostalgic, and it's a nice, happy place. So you can find out more from just listening, asking one question and listening, than you can from talking. I have to learn that one, how to stop talking. Good to see you here, Carly. So using words like you should have, or you have to, or you need to, be very careful about what words you use. So the same with recruiting. When people say, oh, so what's the minimum? So you can make it sound really scary. You can say, well, if you don't reach the minimum, you'll drop. You'll drop. You'll actually be removed as a demonstrator if you don't meet that. And it's something you're making this whole thing sound really scary, overwhelming, intimidating. You know what? I think it's better if I don't join, because I don't know if I'll make that minimum. So instead of talking like that, you can turn around and say, so there's a 3-month minimum to be able to qualify for the discount, which is fair enough because it's a really good discount. You get a minimum of 20%. But if at any time you wanted to finish as a demonstrator, you could just call Stampin' Up and finish, or just not spend anything, and then you no longer receive the discount. So you're not locked in. So what people tend to do when they hear that there's a minimum, somehow they feel like they're locked in and there's no way out. That they're signing an agreement, like a subscription, that they can't be removed from. And you need to allay their fears. You need to say, it's okay, you have an out. I will provide an out for you. You can join, but if any time it gets too much, you just don't spend. You can come back and be my customer. That's usually what I say. You can just come back and be my customer again, just like you are now. However, you'll get more perks if you join. And 9 times out of 10, they realize that the minimum isn't that much at all. There's no auto debit. That's a good way of looking at it, Sarah, because people get scared. They're getting scammed all the time. They're getting signed up to things that they didn't even know that they were being signed up for. And when they go to the Stampin' Up demonstrator site, it's pretty overwhelming. You know, straight away it's words. It's like all these policies and jargon about selling, and it's like, well, I'm scared, I'm worried. And our job is to allay their fears and let them know that those policies are there in place if you're going to sell. If you're not selling, then that's okay. But if you decide to sell in the future, I know those policies and I can help you with them. You know, it's good for them to obviously know if they want to read through it. And I've got a video that I did up for my customers to tell them exactly what each thing means, what they're signing up for. And they realize pretty quickly, and just to give them an overview, it's just about how to sell. Make sure you put in your order by this date, that you can sell within your territory, and your territory is this, your country. And that allays their fears, because all of us are going to be concerned, like, what am I joining up for? And am I going to be locked in? Do I have to spend that money? Yes, you have to spend it or you finish. No, they don't have to spend it. They just, if you don't spend it, then you no longer get the discount. All good. Will you share it? The video? Yeah, sure. I can pop up my video. I'm pretty sure it's public on my YouTube page too. But yeah, I'll put a link up so that you can have a look at what I did and how I explained it and made it easy for them. And I send it to any customer that's showing interest in joining. I just say, look, this is some tips on joining up and how it can help you. So what's the other one that I thought was really interesting? Oh, objections. So say you get an objection, and they say, oh, look, I'm really, I don't have enough money at the moment, or I really don't, I'm not interested. It's not for me. And that can be really challenging to come up with an objection. But what I find, and I actually do phone calls, and that has been my #1 way of getting recruits is making sure that I give my customers a call, particularly the ones that are spending quite a bit of money, and just let them know exactly what they would save if they joined. So if they're spending, say, some of them spend $300, $400 a month. There's one customer of mine that spends up to $1,000 a month sometimes. And I've let her know quite strongly, and I'll even make a joke about it with my customers on the VIP group. I'm like, so you can join, or you can just give me your 20%, and I will be very happy to take your 20% that you could actually keep yourself. And so I make it fun and light and easy. And that's in no way pushy salesperson. It's letting them know that you are genuinely wanting them to save money, and that there's other options, that if they do join, they don't have to continue to buy, that they're not locked in, that they don't have to sell. But most of my team, once they join, because we have a culture of people who share what they love with other people, and they're focused more on other people than they are on themselves, they are the best sellers. They are an amazing team because they have the right training and they have the right support to be able to do that. And they have other people cheering them on, saying, yes, good on you for sharing that. That's awesome. You know, good for you. Because if you have a fear, it holds you back. But if you have people cheering you on and helping you, that stops that fear from happening. So yeah, phone calls are really important in our business. If you don't have phone calls in your business, I highly recommend trying it. And when you do try a phone call, a lot of these suggestions are going to come in place. Think about the other person. Always ring with a purpose. So if you're going to ring because there's a special, there's something that you wanted them to know, and get out of there quickly. Don't ask questions. Don't ask direct questions like, so are you going to buy? Are you going to join? Like, don't make them feel uncomfortable. They know where you are, and usually I end and I say, well, I just thought I'd let you know about the special just in case you hadn't seen my email. And if you have any questions, you know where I am. You know how to contact me. You get my emails and my newsletters. And I hope you have a great week. And I get out of there. There's no need to put people under pressure. If they want to do it, they will remember that phone call. And I've had the funniest phone calls where I'm like, oh my goodness, that person did not like me at all. Like, she's going to ban me. She doesn't like me. Hey, Emma, good to see you. And they've ended up becoming my best recruits and my best customers because they were like, like they thought about it afterwards, that I didn't push them. I didn't sell to them. I literally just rang them to tell them about a special, and then the rest was up to them. And when they thought about it afterwards, they must have gone, oh, actually, you know what? I like the idea of that special. And they ended up joining. So even if you hear something negative, don't let it put you off. You have no idea what could happen in, a few months' time or a year's time. They might have a demonstrator that they order through now. Demonstrators drop. Demonstrators change areas. So they might still call you. So don't think no is no. Even if it's quite blunt or it feels quite rude, understandable. There's a lot of people selling now. There's a lot of telemarketers. There's a lot of people that are wanting their money. And I get why they don't trust people who are selling. But we are in the area of selling. If we want to make this a business, we have to be good salespeople. But we just want to learn how to not be pushy and how to make these people comfortable. So the other one that came up that I really loved, don't treat all objections equally. So all objections are going to be different, and it's up to you to sort of gauge, where they're at. And don't give up on them. Don't give up on anyone. I've had recruits saying, oh, I'm never going to sell. And they've been the best in the, like, Lisa's one of them. Lisa's one of those girls that said, no, I'll never sell. Don't listen to that. If you can help educate, inform, train, let your team know what benefits they get. You've got quick start, you've got amazing flex points, you've got benefits if you advance. As long as you're letting your team know about those things, you're not pushing them. You're just letting them know the opportunities that are in front of them. And what they do with that information is completely up to them. You can't force someone to step up or force them to want to advance. They need to do that from their inside and they need to be the ones to work out how they're going to do that. But you're just giving them the information that they need to know, because a lot of demonstrators don't realize if you get 5 qualified recruits that you get given cash. If you get 8 bronze elite and above, you get cash, you get bonuses. And if you don't know about those bonuses, you're thinking, why would I need to recruit? Why do I want to recruit? I've got this recruit's a really good customer of mine. Why would I want to? But the more that you start seeing how the compensation plan works, how you can get benefits, how it works for you, then suddenly you're invested. It's like, well, hang on a second. If I get that cash, I can buy more stamp sets. And that was my whole goal, was to get as much as I possibly could for free and not have to pay for it. And now I honestly can. I can get all of this is free. I don't pay for any of my Stampin' Up product. It all comes from my Stampin' Up income. And I don't have to worry about dipping into any of Bruno, like our family income. It comes from the Stampin' Up wage. And, you know, then there's still plenty left over for our bills and for an actual job. But the goal for me was just to have enough to buy my craft supplies. That's why I started pushing forward and saying, right, I'm going to make this a business. And I went from hobby to business. So, yeah, find their little carrot. I'm sure all of us want free product. It's like, if you just put up, who wants free product? Who wants free Stampin' Up? Man, we all want it. And then you've got your team's attention and you can show them what they can get. Yeah. So, this one here, that one's a really interesting one. It says, you don't know when to say when. So you can get to a point where you think you're about to seal the deal, or if you think someone's about to recruit and you push, and then all of a sudden they just disappear. They ghost you. They've just disappeared. They lock down. They don't reply to your emails. They don't reply to anything. And this is the same with recruits. We get a lot of recruits that, like in my team, I've had a few recently that say they've tried to reach out to people and they've just literally disappeared. And it's so sad when this happens, because a lot of us are afraid of confrontation now. We're afraid to communicate what's happening in our life. And it's really important to have proper communication skills and to learn how to speak to people. Something that we have done on our team is I do goodbyes. And I actually reminded me I need to do that this week, because we basically look at the list of people that have left and we say goodbye, and we don't say goodbye, we say farewell and please come back soon. We really miss you. Life happens. Things happen in life and people have to go, or they don't reach their minimums, or something comes up, a bill that they have to pay. Sorry, croaky voice. A bill that has to be paid that comes ahead of Stampin' Up. So make it really open and easy for them to come and go. We've had many people in the Crazy Crafters, hey Susan, who've had to leave and then have come back maybe a year later, the next celebration, or when there's been a different special. And the next time that they came back a lot stronger. They had better goals in place. They took advantage of a lot of the things that we have set up in our group, and opportunities for blogging and blog hopping and that sort of thing. So, yeah, just make sure that communication's open. And I always send them an email when they're on that sort of opportunity of leaving. And same with the ones that have dropped now. I will send them an email and say, hey, you know, sorry to see you go, and it's been great having you. We'd love to help you in any way we can. And I always try and make sure that I have a VIP group as well as my team group. And I said, would you like to be added to my VIP group, just so that you can keep up to date and you can still be part of a nice community of stampers. And it's just a really nice way to keep in touch with that person. It's almost like there seems to be a bit of a culture, and I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but it's like if someone drops as a recruit, it's like they just disappear into, it's like, oh, we don't contact them. They're not necessarily considered a customer. They were a recruit, but they're not anymore. But they're like your best potential. You know, you've already had them as a recruit previously. They know what it's like to sign up. They've been your customer probably before that, and they could still be your customer. So look after these ones. You don't want them just disappearing and then never returning. You want them to feel like that there's always an open door and they're always welcome back, no matter what their circumstances are and whatever comes up. And show a bit of empathy. If there's something that's happened to them in their life, have you sent them a card? And just say, I'm really sorry that things didn't go so well for you, or something has happened in your family. And, you know, maybe thinking about this now, maybe I can send a card to all the ones that I've dropped from my team. I'm just writing that down. Send card to dropped people. I mean, it's just another card to do out of all the hundreds of cards, but wouldn't that make a nice thing? I like that idea. Thank you, everyone. Everyone thanks me for these free videos, but what they don't realize is it's actually for me. I get more out of these videos than my whole week. It's to have a refresh and to give myself accountability. So the other one, what's this one? Yeah, I think they were the main ones, but also just being careful of you not taking no for an answer. You're welcome, Kylie. Thank you, Sarah. I'm so glad you're all so helpful to me. I really appreciate it. So yes, you have to be very careful that when someone isn't interested, don't sort of keep going. Don't keep at it. So it's the same with a recruit or a customer that you want to become a recruit or a potential customer. It all fits in the same basket. That ultimately just let people have that space and that time to think about it. However, don't leave it too long. If they've shown a little bit of interest, follow up on it and just say, hey, just touching base again. Totally understand if it's not for you, but just thought I'd let you know that I'm still here if you need anything. And it's amazing how just showing that little bit of extra interest could be the thing that really snaps them in and goes, you know what, yes, I'm going to do it now. Before it wasn't a good time. I was busy that day, or there was stuff happening with the kids. But now I have time to actually sit down and think about it. Because even sitting down and putting your starter kit together requires mental energy and thought into what you're going to order and what you want. So, yeah, don't give up on them. You don't want to be too pushy, but then you don't want to just go, oh, they've said no, so that I better leave them alone. Because we could miss out on some really great contacts and leads if we took no as no. But yeah, there's a fine line, obviously, between. But try different ways of reaching out to them. So if you've called them the first time, maybe send an email the next time, or a text message, or try different ways to contact them. Maybe on Facebook, you could send them a personal message and say, hey, just letting you know I'm here if you have any questions about anything that we talked about. Because if they've shown interest in the past, said, I really want to join, I'm still keen on joining, I'm just trying to get my money together. And, you know, I'm even for myself, I'm a bit of a shocker trying to follow up with people like that. Yeah, Sandra said, I took too long to follow up on a customer, went to offer her a catalogue and she's a demo now. Wow. I had dropped and signed up again because my upline kept in touch without being salesy. Yep. Nothing worse than having pressure. But then there's nothing worse than thinking, I don't want to be salesy, so I won't contact you. Send a personal letter. That's a lovely idea, Laurie. Or even a handmade card. How beautiful to say, you know, this is what we're about and this is what you could be part of. That would be really special and personal way to let them know. And even if they don't say yes now, circumstances change. Things change very quickly in people's lives. And it might be that the next special that comes up, then they're ready to go. They're like, you know what? I missed out last time. I said I was going to do it and I never did. This time I'm going to do it. So if you don't keep in contact with them, if you don't add them to a newsletter list or some way that they can get your communication regularly, then you more than likely will miss them. Like Sandra said, how amazing. She just didn't get to follow up with this customer and then bang, she's joined with someone else. Customers are not necessarily going to be loyal to us unless they've been with us for a while. We've created a relationship with them. So if you have some interest there, definitely try and find a way to let this person know that they're very special to you. that you're going to look after them, and that you're the type of demonstrator that is going to go above and beyond for this person, so that then they know, wow, I'm really going to get looked after. This is going to be amazing service, and it's going to be something special. And that's what I love my VIP group for. That straight away they're part of a community that they're belonging to, and they're seeing other people order, they're seeing other people talk about me, that they're posting pictures of things that I've sent them, cards that I've sent them, gifts that I've sent them, and they're like, holy moly, you know, they all love Kylie, and all these people can't be her relatives and friends. they're from all over Australia. So it helps them to create that trust factor and realize that you are someone that they want to order through. So creating that culture in a group, no problem, Stephanie, good to see you here. Creating that culture and getting that group organized, it takes time and it takes effort. Even if you just start with one customer in that group, you're still giving them that personal service, and you're getting used to having a group of people that you can talk to, as long as Facebook doesn't break. Today I couldn't get logged on, and I'm like, oh my goodness, my whole business is based on Facebook. Facebook cannot break, and it cannot go anywhere. It has to stay forever. So I hope those tips help you all. I don't want to stay too long today. I was trying to keep it to half an hour because I go blah, 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 blah. And that's the other thing. The last thing that I will talk about is being careful that you don't talk over your customers or your recruits. And this is something I work very hard not to do. Bruna says I fail often. We have one mouth and two ears. And we have two ears for a good reason. We need, oh, that's frustrating, Leonie. So we need to listen carefully to what our recruit, our team member, or our customer is saying. And it's only when you listen, really truly listen to them and hear it from their perspective, that you can understand. And Stephanie that just jumped on, you know, we had an amazing discussion that really helped me to realize that I need to keep working on this skill of listening, instead of just thinking I know the right way, or but you know, this is so good. You know, I can overtake and think that my way is the best way and not be open to any other ideas. I can be a bit stubborn like that. So making sure that you're listening out for those things that they're looking for, and then you'll know how to help them in whatever area. Do you remember that one, Stephanie? Yeah, she helped me a lot. I owe you, Stephanie. So I've learned a lot from that situation. And unless we learn from those situations that come up, instead of taking it personal and going, you know, they didn't even listen to me. It's like, well, did you listen to them? Did you stop and listen to what they had to say? As a team leader particularly, that's our role, is to listen to our team and to ensure that we're hearing what they have to say and how it can help. And I'm so grateful for Stephanie speaking up and saying, hang on a second, I don't think what you're doing is a good idea. And I'm really grateful for that, because we learn from it. So if you ever get to a point where you've stopped learning and you've stopped listening, then you're in big trouble. Keep listening, keep learning, and test yourself. Am I listening here? Am I listening to my customer? Am I listening to my potential customer? Am I listening to my team member? Because if you don't, you could miss out on some amazing gems because you think you know the best way. And that's when you get left behind. We learn the most from each other. Thank you all very much. I hope you enjoyed this week's business chat. And next week, I will get my diary here. Next week we have, ooh, this one's a good one. I say that every time. Ooh, ooh, this is a good one. How to be creative continually. Because that is a big thing as a demonstrator. We've got to keep coming up with new ideas. I've got, I think, 3 cards that I need to make now. No, 4, sorry. I've got a blog hop tomorrow with my top 10. I've got Be Inspired blog hop, one there. Oh, you over listen. Yeah, sometimes you've got to make a decision too. Yes, that's true, Sandra. It's like, no, I'm going with this. The gut's telling me this. Yes, so yes, I've got 4 cards because I've got the Be Inspired, and then I've got Stamp to Share, and Stamp to Share is 2 projects. So to be able to create continually, and you know, for this month, like it's ridiculous how many cards I need to make this month. I don't think I want to look. If I look, I might freak out. So all I know is I usually, at least every week, I'm needing to make at least 4 projects each week. So to be able to continue doing that and come up with new ideas, it can be a bit overwhelming for a lot of us. And I would love to talk to you about how to do that and what you can do, what the coping mechanisms are from a psychological point of view, and also what do you call it? Mechanics, I guess. Yes. One at a time. Yeah, it's like that. Very much so. But yes, I will help you with the psychology behind card making too. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll see you next week, everyone, and thank you for your comments. Now, what question can I leave you all with? What is one area that you think that you could be better with in selling? What's the one thing that you need to work on? What area? Is it listening? Is it making phone calls? Is it follow-up? Is it sending emails and newsletters? What's that one thing? You can put one more if you like, but try and hone it down to one area that you would like to work on so that you can be a better salesperson. Or consistency. Consistency is the best. It is the best thing because it covers everything. Newsletters for Sarah? Excellent. Confidence for Stephanie. Oh yeah, that's a lot of us. We all have that issue with self-esteem, and yeah, definitely. I think it's a woman thing too. We're a little bit, we're a bit hard on ourselves. Newsletters for Maria. So anyway, put it down, and then maybe you can put a little action in place of when you would like to do the item that you're talking about, the one thing that you want to work on. When do you want to have it done by? So a lot of you have put newsletters. When are you going to send that newsletter? Or Michelle's put, when are you going to follow up? Set a date and stick to it. And that will help you to achieve it. Rather than talking about it, it's doing it. And I think with confidence too, confidence is an interesting thing because there's really no one stopping you other than you. And it's just getting to a point where you don't want to not care what other people think, but I think it's accepting that you yourself have something unique to share and that you have that special thing that no one else has. No one else is you. And the world needs to see you. Marie Forleo has some beautiful things. If you just look up Marie Forleo and maybe even look up some TED Talks about confidence and what it is that's actually holding you back, do some work on it. Maybe look up a book. Yeah, find out a book that can help you. But I think the TED Talks are really good. Marie Forleo I would definitely recommend. And just watch some things that are going to help boost your confidence and find out what it is actually that's holding you back. Is it fear of other people? Is it fear of judgment? Too shy and polite. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I think it's interesting because when we hold back like that, I guess the best thing that we can say, and Stephanie, you're probably the best example I can use, because in some ways I probably went further with you than what I would normally do to any other person. You know, in a way I did push Stephanie to join. I was like, no, seriously, you need to join. I've only done that with a couple of people. I think it was Stephanie and Nicole Bonner. I think there were 2 people that I clearly remember going, I am not going to let these 2 go. Do you remember what I said to you, Stephanie? I forget what I said now, but she'll probably remember the conversation. But I almost didn't let her not join. I was like, you just have to do this. You have to. This is what you need to do. And I think sometimes it's knowing that it's going to help. I wore you down. I'm good at that. I think it's knowing what is going to actually help that person. And genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I know that when someone joins Stamping Up, they are going to love it. How can you not love it? It's like, yes, what have you got to lose? Yeah, that's it. There's just so much more to gain than there is to actually lose. And it's from my heart that I know that they're going to love it and that they're going to enjoy it and they're going to meet amazing people. You can share your cards. That's so funny. Yes, so I didn't give up on Stephanie. So if you're shy and if you're holding back, ultimately you can be like, but this is something so good for that person. I might be feeling like this, but I have a responsibility to tell this other person about this amazing fun thing that we're doing, because I want this person to have fun. So making it less about you and more about the other person will help you overcome that confidence issue. Yep, still haven't given up. Because I see potential. I see when people have got the goods. You definitely, you know when someone's got it. There's just a special little spark in people. You've got it, Stephanie. You're going to do it. So just, yeah, look at ways that you can overcome those issues. Find out if there's books that you can read or videos that you can watch that are going to help you to overcome that shyness. I know that there's one demonstrator in New Zealand who, before she joined Stampin' Up, she wasn't able to leave her house. I forget the condition, but pretty much she just had fear of crowds, fear of people. She'd had a child and she was pretty much housebound, and then she joined Stampin' Up. And it's just pushed her, and a lot of you may know her and you probably can talk to her about it. Say, Kylie told me to come and talk to you, but her name is Charlene Mayer. She has done the most amazing Stampin' Up talks. You would never know that she had these issues that she went through, but by joining Stampin' Up, it's forced her to actually come out of her shell, to start doing classes, to start doing workshops, to build her confidence, and then she was doing talks at on stage and conventions and things like that. So it just shows that with progress, with a reason to do it, you can overcome a lot of those fears that you have. And we've all got a fear. All of us have something we need to overcome. And that's why I'm looking forward to next week's creativity chat, because this was my biggest fear. Everything else was fine. The business, the recruiting, the sales, but creative, whew, this one's a full-on one for me, and it's taken a lot of work for me to overcome. It's like some people with technology. Some people with technology are like, oh my goodness, it gives me panic attacks. For me, it was creating regularly. So I'm really looking forward to having a chat to you about that, because it will help with overcoming other fears that you might have. It is possible. You've just got to push. If you see the wall, smash through it. And don't let it hold you back. And that is me. Over and out. Thank you all very much. See you next week. Bye.